What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Maurice, sports historian, back again with another video. We back with my boy Gabe with another wrestling video. Gabe, say what's up to the people.
Hey, second appearance on the channel. I'm excited to be here, man, because when it comes to the guy we're discussing today, it sure is a lot to talk about.
For sure, man. Hey, you see the flag in the back, and you know who we talking about if you saw the thumbnail. But before we get into the video, if you guys are new here, please subscribe, turn the notification bell, leave a like on the video if you like the video, and after you see who we talking about, leave a comment as well. So to get started, man, we talk about CM Punk. CM Punk, my dog, Chicago's own. Even though I think some people have been saying he ain't really from Chicago, he's from the burbs, but he built from Chicago, so Chicago's own. Gabe, how do you feel about CM Punk getting fired, and what was your reaction to him getting fired?
CM Punk was my first wrestling love, so it's always gonna hit hard, because I got into wrestling when I was about 10 in 2013, and he just had this aura about him. I started watching right around WrestleMania time, literally the night after, so after the Undertaker stuff. But when he first came back and had that little summer feud with Chris Jericho, went into the Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman feud, it was good times, man, and I fell in love with that character. And then when he went away in 2014, that was for real. When I started to get a little bit more disenfranchised, I'm shit. And so for him to finally come back after all that time, especially around the time I got back into wrestling, because I probably got out around 2015, 16, and I got back in during the pandemic when I saw Edge was back, when I saw The Fiend and all that, he was going crazy. So I got, dude, CM Punk might come back. That's insane. And it was awesome. It was so good for that first year. The MJF feud, the Darby Allin feud, the Eddie Kingston feud. He did so much good work.
Man, and was cooking on the AEW roster, man. He was going crazy.
He was the highlight of AEW television there. He really carried Rampage, especially when they started up that show. So it's for him to go, I will say at this point, I'm not as sad as I think I would be if he had been around the whole time. The fact that he just missed 9 months after a brawl out and then came back and was only back short term, it makes it not that bad, because it's we've kind of seen the product do well without you anyways. But it still is a tough pill to swallow, because Collision was such a fun show to watch. I love the pacing of it. I just love the whole atmosphere. And the fact that they just have really good wrestling on there and a lot of great performers. And he was right up there with the best of them. So for him to go is just sad.
About Collision. But we're not here to talk about AEW. We're here to talk about CM Punk and what his future is in professional wrestling. Obviously, me, and I would assume you as well, Gabe, would want to see CM Punk back in WWE. And in my opinion, if he's going to continue his career as a pro wrestler, at this point after being fired from AEW, because he looked like he was ready to go. Injuries aside and all that, he looked like he was still ready to go and still ready to work. But if he goes back to WWE, what are some people who you would want to see him feud with?
All right, so the first one that I'm gonna bring up, and it might not be the first name you think of, but it definitely is a top guy in the company. I really want to see a CM Punk and Seth Rollins feud. There's a little bit of history there. Both kind of came up as indie guys, and then even when they were in the company together, CM Punk.
They wrestled in the indies. They might have wrestled each other.
They might have. I mean, that would have been really young Seth Rollins, because Punk was in WWE by 2006. But he was a part of bringing the Shield up to the main roster from NXT. So there in 2012, right at the beginning of Seth Rollins' run, they had all that. Then there was the Seth Rollins, the whole Shield versus CM Punk 3-on-1 at TLC 2013. So there was a little feud there. They had some back and forth. But at the end of the day, Seth Rollins was not in his prime yet, not even close. And what I know about Seth Rollins right now is that he always does his best work when it's somebody that he has actual history with. Just look at some of his recent feuds. The Edge feud, there was a lot of history there, and it made for great storytelling, great matches, great chemistry all around. And then even something smaller like the Matt Riddle feud, they had actual long-standing beef, and that really showed in some of the intensity.
They were cooking in that. A lot of people didn't like that as much, that feud, but they cooked with that. And I was what was it? Extreme Rules that they did that fight pit. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
They had a lot of really good matches there. So, and just now Seth Rollins has been on this title reign for a little bit, and while all of it hasn't really been like the greatest thing, a lot of that Finn Balor program, once again, having real history with the 7 years, with all the things that they've gone through in that time period, it was really captivating TV, and I really wanted to see Finn Balor get that title. And that's just another guy that Seth Rollins has history with, having that interview, I think, last year where he's like, stay far away, you're a cancer, all that stuff he was saying about CM Punk. Now you bring him in, and it's like, that's probably the best Seth Rollins program since the Cody program, to be honest, as far as how quality it can be, especially on the microphone. They're two of the most charismatic guys in the business right now.
Gabe, you gave your Seth Rollins. I like that. Obviously, I want to see a Seth Rollins CM Punk feud in 2023 as well. But somebody who I think would mesh even better with CM Punk is another guy who came up off the indies, but he had, a run through NXT. I'm talking about my man's Kevin Owens. Now, recently it was some rumors that around the Royal Rumble last year, or the Royal Rumble this year, technically, because it happened in 23. Around the Royal Rumble, CM Punk was looking to get out of his AEW contract, and they were pitching ideas. I believe CM Punk was, it was rumored that CM Punk, he wanted his opponent to be whoever eliminated him in the Royal Rumble. Obviously, that means he would have returned during the Royal Rumble, and it would have led to a WrestleMania feud with Kevin Owens. Now, would that have been better than what we got at WrestleMania with KO? Definitely not. Not by a long shot. But that shit would have been very, very entertaining, especially when you consider, all right, Kevin Owens, as of recent, he ain't been cooking on the promos as much because his character, he been real loud and angry as of recent. But you settle him down a little bit, get him into a real war of words with CM Punk. Obviously, in the ring, they both work that mid 2000s indie style. You know what I'm saying? They'll be fine in the ring. But I'm more so talking about the promos. The promos gonna be crazy, because especially if you have Kevin Owens still be babyface like he is right now. I don't know how long they're gonna keep that up for. Hopefully they're keeping it up for long, because I like face KO. But I think face KO would be more of a real adversary for CM Punk, because if we got heel KO, all right, the crowd's gonna boo KO because he's the heel, but they also gonna boo because it's CM Punk that's coming back. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that would add a little bit more layer to it. If CM Punk comes back as a heel, I don't think he should come back as a face. I think he'd come back as a heel and get into a program with a face Kevin Owens. I think that would cook, and I think that would make mucho dinero.
Yo, I mean, when you mention Kevin Owens, it's like, maybe not as recently, but just a year ago in 2022, he built a WrestleMania main event program by himself. Stone Cold Steve Austin did not show up on Raw, did not show up on SmackDown. He had like one or two, I think, pre-tapes where he's like, yeah, I'll be there and all that. But as far as an actual in-person appearance, Kevin Owens built that program completely by himself. Now imagine that level of skill and put that into promos with CM Punk. That's a great program to build. Like, the excitement and just the memorable moments that would come out of that, I think really would be second to none. No matter who was the good guy and who was the bad guy, like either way, I think either dynamic, it would work to an extent, because probably no Punk can draw some boos. The return pops are always going to be there. So as soon as a guy freshly comes back, usually, I feel like usually when a guy makes a big return like that, it's just so hyped that they're going to keep them face for a little bit, even if they do like one program and then turn heel. Think Trish Stratus this year, where she returned, she did like the little WrestleMania program with Damage Control, turned heel right away. She wanted to have a heel run, but they really capitalized on that like return energy.
Speaking of, so it's funny that you mentioned Kevin Owens built his WrestleMania match moment feud by himself, because guess who also did that? Seth Rollins. He built that feud by himself as well. We ain't know Cody was showing up. We was just like, hey, whoever show up, they show up. But you know what I'm saying, it was a mystery opponent. So again, I like who we chose. You chose Seth Rollins. I chose Kevin Owens. You got another one in mind? Because if not, we can move on to some more interesting things about CM Punk's potential return.
So let me give you one more, because I think this one's a little bit more of a hot take, but it was something I saw going around that I would really like personally, and that would be if he were to return and face AJ Styles. For the past couple years, AJ Styles has been stuck in the mid-card. AJ Styles has been stuck in the mid-card for way too long. And at this point, I'm ready to see him get back to that level because I know he still has that talent. I see the stuff he does in the ring on a week-to-week basis, and I'm like, if this guy was just given a good feud to sink his teeth into, I feel like he could do some great work instead of being out there like against Karrion Kross or like a program with, I mean, he had the Seth Rollins program, but like they were on different shows and it was through a tournament, so there wasn't really any like heat there. He needs a big time program. He needs a big time program desperately. And even like when he had the Edge feud in 2022, I feel like a lot of people were let down by the Edge version of Judgment Day and they just weren't really feeling it. But I don't know if that was all Styles' fault. But capitalizing on the energy of a CM Punk return to get over AJ Styles and elevate him back to the top of the card, especially if Punk was to come back on SmackDown, because we know right now Raw has many of the top guys. When Jay's not, or like once Cena's thing is done
right now, by the way,
once like Cena's run is done and Roman's still not around in certain time periods, like, dude, if you had a CM Punk AJ Styles program at your main event slot, that's a great TV show.
That's beautiful right there. Beautiful. Bro, AJ Styles versus CM Punk. That's damn near like a dream match that 2017 me would have had. You know what I'm saying?
And ROH versus TNA, the kings of both companies.
Like we this close to getting it. But I like that. But moving on from who we want to see him face, I'm gonna pose you this question, and I want you to think about it for a little bit because I've thought about it. Which theme does he come back with? Does he come back with Cult of Personality, or does he switch it back to this Fire Burns? Good question.
So there's the answer. Question. So there's what I want. There's what I want, and there's what I think is going to happen if he were to come back. CM Punk obviously prefers Cult of Personality. When he signed the big new deal in 2011, he started using that theme, and then when he signed to AEW, he kept using that theme. They didn't reach out to Killswitch Engage. They reached out to Living Color and got Cult of Personality for him once again. So if he were to come back and make his return, I think he would definitely get Cult of Personality because I think that's more viewed as his main event theme. I know he was World Heavyweight Champion twice, Mr. Money in the Bank twice, had a lot of accomplishments with this Fire Burns, but really his entire main event run after Money in the Bank 2011 was with Cult of Personality. So I think that's the theme they would use, but just my personal bias, I love this Fire Burns. It's like one of my top 3 favorites.
Hey, now listen. You are right because this Fire Burns is more associated with his ECW run and then the beginning of his, you know what I'm saying, main roster run for real. I say main roster, but like, well, yeah, even still main roster at the time. But bro, so as you guys can see right here, I got tickets to Survivor Series. Now, obviously Survivor Series is in Chicago, CM Punk Chicago, duh. That would be great. Now, all I'm saying is, if he was to come back, that's one thing. If he was to come back, instead of using Cult of Personality and use this Fire Burns, bro, crazy, bro. It would be insane in Allstate Arena, which, fun fact, is not in Chicago. Allstate Arena is in Rosemont. They just advertise it as Chicago. I know why they do it, but like, it's not in Chicago. Just a little pet peeve, man. Just a little pet peeve.
They can bring up that Chicago crowd, man. You know, the stereotype is that they're supposed to be pretty lively. So the Chicago,
I mean, it's quite literally on the very, very edge of Chicago. All right, now to finish off this video, we're making good time. To finish off this video, I kind of spoke on it earlier, so I'm gonna start this off. But Gabe, I'm gonna pose this question to you. Should he, at least until after, you know, all of the shock that CM Punk has returned, all of that's gone down, should he be a heel or a face for his first long-term run in WWE? Now, I think with everything that's happened in AEW, it's going to be very, very hard to try and make CM Punk a realistic face after all of that. Well, face, he could be a face. I just think his role right now would be better suited as the heel, because all of the shit that is being said about him right now, number one, he's not really responding to it, and I don't think we're gonna get a response to it anyway. So him being heel would kind of be a way to respond to it. Like on his return episode on his Collision debut, I think it was the debut of the beginning show of Collision, when he said the line about counterfeit bucks. That's like something that he could do, but it would more so have to happen with WWE if he was a heel. You know what I'm saying? So I would like that as kind of, we get this heel WWE run to kind of put a button on the AEW, all the AEW stuff that's happened. And obviously you can turn them face later on because of CM Punk. We love CM Punk. So that's just my thoughts on it. Gabe, what do you think?
So when it comes to like what he should be in a WWE return based upon what happened in AEW, there could be a second school of thought where you almost think it should make him come back as a face, because I watch both companies. I have Dynamite on tonight. I had Raw on Monday. I watch both of them. But at the end of the day, we do know there's so much tribalism with the two companies that you might look at like some more diehard WWE fans and they might say, yeah, that guy, he screwed over AEW. He didn't mess with them like that. He's just like us. We don't like AEW either. And they might root for him more. So from that train of thought, because I feel like the more casual fans will like just cheer him for being a legend and being, oh, I grew up with this guy being one of the top guys. And so I do think there is a little bit more babyface potential from that standpoint. But when it comes to what I think Punk is best at as a character right now, I definitely think he should come back as a heel. Like I said, immediately upon return, big Rumble pop, maybe has like a match at that first pay-per-view after like if it's a Survivor Series pop, and then maybe after Survivor Series, like he's face up until the Rumble, and then at Rumble he turns heel and goes into this big Mania program. Because CM Punk, when he's just being this bitter old man, almost who he is in real life at this point, just like the gatekeeper of just like, I know I'm great, I'm accomplished, I'm the top guy around here, I've done this and that, you have to go through me. Almost what he was doing as the real world's champion. Until somebody can lace my boots, I'm going to keep wrestling. Until somebody can take this championship away from me, I'm going to keep doing what I do. And for him to lean more into the heel side with that, I think could make for really compelling TV. But also, the way he was doing it as more of a tweener on Collision wasn't too bad as well. Because Ricky Starks was definitely the heel. But I'm not going to go out here and say that Punk was a straight-up babyface. He had his moments where he was not too nice of a guy.
All right, so that was our video on CM Punk and his potential return to WWE. Make sure you follow my man's Gabe on the social media. I'm going to include all his links in the description. If you guys enjoyed this video, like I said in the beginning, leave a like, subscribe, comment what your favorite part of the video was, and also comment if you want CM Punk to return as a face or as a heel. So, with that being said, appreciate you for watching this video, man, and we out. Peace out, man.